Okay. Cha-cha. What's up, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of ages, hopefully about 15 and up, depending on your parents. Welcome to Friday Night Live, the raw and unscripted kick-ass show coming to you with power, passion, and commitment. Tonight's broadcast is brought to you by some amazing people that I've come to know and love just in the last month of this crazy time that we're going through. And I would just want to say, first of all, thank you guys for all being here on Friday night. It's a pleasure to come to you every Friday night and bring you whatever inspiration, motivation, or education that we can possibly bring to you by the minds of the people that I know and I come in contact with and the people that I know from my past. It's a beautiful thing when you get different perspectives on a particular subject. And tonight we're going to talk about, shifting your perspective from being a victim to being a victor, to how to get through this time where we don't know what to believe. We don't know who to believe. We don't know where to go or what to do. The purpose of tonight's show is to really bring value to you to see things from different perspectives. We got a host of experts here from different genres, different backgrounds. It's going to be a very diverse show for you guys. And the point is that we want you guys to participate in the comment section, ask us questions. This is a very interactive show. And we want to bring that to you because that's what this community has become. And the fact that we can't go outside necessarily, we can't associate with people. I went to the store today for the first time in a month. And it was crazy that, we're all wearing our masks, and I'm a very visual person. I'm a very, interactive person. I'm like, hi, how you doing? And everything. And it was so crazy because I had my mask on. I couldn't smile at people. And I was like, hey, how you doing? And it just felt weird because I got the bandana on, then I got the mask on. I look, I want to rob the place, so it's just a crazy time. And we just want to bring the massive value to you guys so that you can see things from different perspectives. So I'm so proud to have with me again, Scott Goyette, who has become my brother from another mother. We have Sherry Gideons, who is just an amazing soul, has such an amazing perspective on everything in the beauty of life from a female perspective, from a soul perspective. It's such a blessing to have her here. And then we have a newcomer to the group, Zoe, who comes to us from Australia. And I've had an opportunity to see some of her videos and see what she's about. And she's truly authentic. She's truly soulful and spiritual. And I love her authenticity and transparency. So it's just going to be an amazing show for you guys tonight. So let's just go ahead and bring them up here on the screen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. How you guys doing?
What's up, Chris?
Yay!
What's up? What's up, kick-ass everybody? Hey, you guys in the comment section and everything, we're glad to see you guys here again. This is an interactive session. So one of the things I just want to start off with, and just obviously, Zoe, I want you to introduce yourself to the group, but I was thinking about it when I was on a drive yesterday. I actually went out for a 50-mile drive, and it was so amazing. I was like, God, I feel normal. But it was so funny because I thought, what have I been missing? In this time, this 1 month that we've been down here in Southern California, we've been on quarantine. What have I missed in this last month? And I'm like, I went out for a drive and I realized that was my alone time. That was my thinking time. That was my podcast and learning time. That was my communicating with my coaching clients time. And that was my time, honestly, to miss my family. And I realized I was out for an hour and I was like, I wonder what they're doing. I wonder what Jackson's doing, my 3-year-old son. And it was crazy. And I just wanted to ask you guys, and by way of introduction, what is it that you've seen that you've missed or that's changed for you in this time, in either positive or negative? And then we want to jump into the conversation of helping people give a different perspective to this situation that's going on so they don't feel like they're a victim, they don't feel like they're lost, and they feel like they have opportunities now that they can take advantage of. Whoever wants to go first. Zoe, let's hear from you, darling. Welcome to the group.
It's good to be here. It's like full circle coming back, seeing Scott, seeing Sherry, and now meeting Chris. I love it. Okay, so you want to know like a little bit like relationship alchemy code, or you want to know what's changed for me?
Initially, just what's changed. What things have you identified? Like for me, it was so cool that I was driving yesterday and I realized, I'm like, wow, I like to get away and miss my family. I've been so blessed with that, but it's kind of things that I'm learning and I've grown, and it's just so many different things that are positive. I want people to see what can happen in their life, but also things that maybe you miss.
So the one thing that has changed for me, which will sound a little bit like complete opposite, is my children are actually living with their dad. So they're being quarantined there. He's got more space. I go down and visit about twice a week. And it's, my mission here is to serve first and foremost. And they know that and they support that. They're 12 and 13. And it's nothing else really much apart from that has changed for me, because it was like, welcome to my world, everybody. This is what I do every day. Connect in nature, do me. you know, do all of that. I'm serving on a deeper level. That's really shifted. What I feel is so many more people, because they have that time and space, now they're realizing that they do need to look at their stuff. And so, yeah, that's what's changed with my children. It's really beautiful, because we will bump into each other in the street and we're like, hey, and we'll come up and we'll have like massive hugs and kiss. There's no attachment. There's no, oh, I feel guilty because I haven't spent time with you. You know, there's none of that. So we're going through this massive, it's giving them choice of where they want to be. And it's really beautiful. And we hang out. We have like a 5-7 minute wrestle and we play around with each other. And we're like, okay, I'm going to go off and do me now. And it's such a beautiful part of evolution. I really realized that we all have to remember to put on our own oxygen mask and give ourselves permission to do us, to then be able to then share that greatest version with those that we love.
Wow, that is powerful. I love that. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, so you're down in Australia. Talk to us about maybe some of the different things that have been implemented down there. I was on a interview with somebody from India the other day, and they said they're on complete lockdown. They can't even go medical necessities. They can't, if somebody has a heart attack, they cannot go to the hospital. I thought that was crazy. Is it something, is there anything different down in Australia that you could share with us? All of us, and obviously are here in the States, but what is it like for you down in Australia?
So I'm in Sydney. I'm in the inner west of Sydney, probably about 5 minutes from the CBD. I think we must either just be doing things our own way here. I mean, I still walk, I'm not wearing a mask. No one's wearing a mask outside. You know, they've started they're counting how many people are in the shop, but it's, you know, pretty loose, pretty laid back. It's Australia, mate. I
love it there. I've been there once. It was amazing.
You know, like the police have been going to the park and there's a little area that I'll hide in a rock. And you know, you're seeing people connecting there and they're standing on one spot moving, like exercise while they're standing there. You know, so I don't know, like I've got friends that are in Bondi, which is, you know, the famous Bondi Beach. And he sat on the grass the other day with the green juice. He sat on the grass, my friend Kurt, and was meditating. He got told he was to move because he was being a nuisance and he was being high risk. And I was like, well, mate, you need to fucking learn to levitate now. And you need to start learning to levitate to be like, hey, you know, but again, you know, they're doing what they need to do by what they're being told. So yeah, so I haven't met any of that now. I don't know what I'd do. I was thinking that if I'm sitting there meditating and they come up and tell me that I'm being a nuisance when really you're plugging love back into the grid and going, really?
Wow, that's crazy. Yeah, everybody here is wearing masks. It's really freaky. I told my wife, I came back from the store and I said, you know, it's so weird. I want to see people's expressions. I hope my whole goal through this, Zoe, has been, and Scott and Sherry know this and they're on board with this, is that I want to look at this as a time of uniting and growing together and saying hi. And like here in the States, when 9/11 hit, everybody was nice to each other for like a period of like 3 months. It was amazing. People were nice, opening the doors for each other, saying hi. And I'm like, yeah, this is the vibe I want to be in. And I was like trying to say hi to people and everyone's just, you know, couldn't see their facial expression.
Oh, wow.
What's going on, brother Scott from Austin, Texas? Woohoo! Austin, Texas. Scott, what's going on for you, brother? How have things been for you? What changes have you seen? And yeah, what's going on, man? We've had so many conversations in the last couple of weeks. It's been just truly phenomenal.
It's been perfect. Absolutely perfect. It is what it is, and we're where we're at. And to echo some of the things that Zoe's saying and to bring my own piece into it, I think right now, the thing that I'm realizing more and more than ever is what I can control and what I can't control, and seeing how that stresses me or how it doesn't stress me. Because you have a choice right now. You can sit here and, just like you said with your ride, I can sit here and say, I'm stuck at home. I can't play basketball. I can't do this. I can't do that. But what I've been saying is, how amazing is this? You never know when you're going to have this much time with your family ever again. So after this show, in fact, we're competing against another family online in trivia. So we're doing all these new things that we've never done before. So I'm finding it as a blessing. It's teaching me to also realize it's forcing me to get more into technology and connect people worldwide, which I've done with Zoe, and I've got friends worldwide from my travels, but it's really pushing that envelope. And then I think the most important piece, which I'm sure we'd all agree with, it's given me time to just be, because we've been on that do diet for so long. We're on the treadmill of life and we don't stop. And I think it's scaring the crap out of a lot of people, because we're sitting in that space where we're forced to confront ourselves. And I'm sure that Zoe and Sherry and you and I are going to talk about that in the next 45 minutes to an hour. But it's forcing us to get into our own brains and find out who we are. And honestly, there's a lot of people who don't want to do that. And I've been very comfortable with that. So this to me is just like an organic, it's just a thing. And I know Zoe's in the same, it's just a thing, you know, it's like, it's a thing. All right. It's a different part of life. So what's different? The only thing, I'll be a bitch for a minute, right? I can't play basketball. I can't play basketball and it makes me sad. There's the truth. Everything else I'm cool with, but I really want.
You have to do something. Jesus,
I really want to play basketball, and I just want to run around with a bunch of men. I just want to
get all sweaty.
Yeah,
you want to get sweaty with other men.
Yeah, I don't know why.
That's what I love about these guys.
Does that sound right?
Yeah, I guess. I don't know. My friend was trying to get me into jujitsu, and I swear to God, I told him this. I said, I cannot get that close to somebody else's ball. I can't do it. I can't do it. I do not want to. I will fight somebody. I'll kick their ass, but I don't want to fight where I'm in jujitsu and I have somebody else's ball. I just can't do it.
The worst part of playing quarterback. There's nothing worse than being a quarterback.
Yes.
Your hands are right here, and you're like, essentially, that man's balls are on the top of my right hand right now.
Yeah, I can't. Yeah.
Thank God.
I like darts. You know, the darts are easy. Just boom.
Darts
boom,
are good.
Boom. Take a drink.
Some darts. In front of the dart, you're good.
Sherry Gideon's in the house. What's up, Sherry? The light, the aura, the spirituality, yes. What's going on with you, darling?
Oh my God. So here's the deal. Let's just say this. Each day, doesn't matter what's going on, we have a choice. For our life and more meaning. And, you know, for me, it is no different, really. I am all about milking the joy out of each day. So really being at home has given me a more opportunity to talk to my girls. You know, my girls were taken out of the school system and they're doing online school because I have twins. And so it's been so fun just letting them sleep all day. And then when they get up, you know, we have these conversations, or we go out to the backyard and we sit back there on, you know, around the fire pit and hang out and talk and, you know, have a good time, have a girl time. And then I'm in Arizona, so the climate here is a lot warmer. And Arizona is not as strict. I mean, they had a lockdown, but they're definitely not as strict. So the girls and I have been going out to the desert and walking on the trails and just soaking up the beauty and soaking up life. And then, of course, I've gotten a ton of projects done that I had set aside and, you know, got busy and wasn't getting done. And so I published a new book, and I'm about to publish another book. So I think it's been awesome and wonderful.
Wow.
Nothing crazy going on here but love.
Yeah. And why do you think that is? Why do you think that is, guys? Why is it, what makes us different than the rest of the population? I mean, we could talk about some of the people who are totally like in the total victim mindset. And I think about it from a standpoint, and I wanted to get your guys' opinion. Where does this all start? I always think about the conditioning. I always think about not the symptom of the issue, but what's the root cause of an issue. And I usually go back to the conditioning process that happens when we're kids from 0 to 5, and some of our belief patterns that reinforce our confidence to get us through these times that I've just been hammering to people. I'm like, you have to do things differently. This is not business as usual. This is going to require of you sacrifice and blood, sweat, and tears to get through this and to reinvent yourself. I even told my wife, I said, if we go from our 5-bedroom house with a pool and jacuzzi and all this other stuff to a 1-bedroom apartment, and we still have Jackson and we're still healthy, and we get rid of a bunch of shit, so be it. We'll still be healthy. We'll still be alive. We'll still be able to make life. What do you guys say to that?
Real quick, because I know Zoe's got a lot to say, and I actually so I commented. I said the other day, Zoe had a comment on Facebook, and I said, hold that till Friday. And so that would be an answer to this question. Here's what's going on right now. There's two camps of existence right now. There's people who fully understand that this world is not everything. And there's people who understand there's more beyond the veil. And so somebody who's sitting right now just saying, I have to make money, and they're sitting in a place of lack, and they're sitting in a place of fear. This world's going to not feel good right now. Somebody who understands that these are just lessons we need to learn, and there's so much more beyond, and accepts that and embraces that and knows that this is an opportunity to learn and grow, has no problem with this. And so it's really, how far are you along on the track of, you can use the word enlightenment, self-growth, looking deep within. Right now, when we're looking at ourselves and we're sitting in this quarantine, you can either freak out and say, I don't like myself and I want to go back to work, or you could say, you know what, I love myself. Mm-hmm. And however uncomfortable or comfortable you felt hearing that, that's going to decide right now of the rest of your existence here on earth. Because if you're cool with that, everything's going to be fine. And now I'm going to sit back, and I can't wait to hear the rest of you guys talk about this, because I just say enough. You guys go.
I know, it's so good. Isn't it right, Scott? It's so good to be able to sit back and learn, because I go back, and these ones that I'm involved with, I'll go back and watch them and really be able to listen to what everybody else is saying, because sometimes, when we're in this, we're like thinking about what we're going to say and listen to everybody else. But no, this is fire. And I think I'm watching the comments and everything, and it's really good. So who wants to jump off next?
Zoe, you want to go?
Okay, I'll go. I was like, what did I say the other day?
I was trying to reference it. We talked about the whole thing with the veil and all that. Remember, we were talking about, and I go, save that for Friday. That's it right there.
I feel, everyone's going to have a different level of perception, i.e. from the way that they, the way that they created the world as their reality, which then goes back to the beliefs that we had and the way that we saw the world, or the way that we were met or not met when we were children. So I know all of us here, we've had lessons throughout life. We've had a lot of suffering. We've had a lot of adversity. We've probably had a lot of trauma. That's what I'm assuming. So we have met different times of adversity, or different times of resistance, which when we have anything like right now, which is creating adversity, a block, there's an opportunity there. It's there for our soul growth. It's there for our soul greatest alignment. It's like things don't happen to us, that maybe I'm leaping too far ahead, but if we see the world because as children, our perception was we weren't seen, we weren't heard, our needs weren't being met, like our basic human needs, then that is the lens that we're going to see the world through as an adult, but still feeling like a child on the inside. So I feel each time we meet these blocks, we have an opportunity where we start to grow, and our DNA starts to change within ourselves. So people that haven't been doing the spiritual practices, for example, it could be prayer, it could be meditation, it could be yoga, it could be Tai Chi, it could be energy work, and doing it behind closed doors, then their nervous system and their cells of their body will not have adapted and evolved in their DNA. So children right now, their DNA is already evolved, more so than possibly their parents. So it's not that they won't accept, they'll find it hard to conceptualize some of the other things that are being brought into their awareness, because they don't have the tools, and they haven't gone through that evolution process in their cells. Does that make sense? So they're going to be seeing the world through a different lens of perception. And I feel we're in this beautiful time. We'll be in families where me and my family have totally different views. What I've learned from this is to stop being the evangelist, stop trying to convince people, because it's annoying. And that's not love, that's not kindness, that's not compassion. And find something you can relate with those people in your life with. And I don't know if I've gone off track here, but it's like we will each have things that we will meet blocks. So 4 weeks ago, even after doing all this work, 4 weeks ago, my reality, just before all of this stuff went, was, and I had a prescience of this in 2018. I know that in 2020, April 2020, I'm going to find myself close to homelessness in a box. And I was like, okay, well, Now I have the awareness of that. I know it's coming. I accepted it. So acceptance is a big thing. You can't change it. This is where I'm at. So then what happened 4 weeks ago? And this is insane. 4 weeks ago, I phoned my ex-husband up and I went, you're going to need to take the kids. And it was a really hard truth for me. I went, in honesty, I don't have the money to feed them. Found myself outside Centrelink, which is like the government support thing. Like, you know, when you're on this path, I'm like, what the fuck am I doing here? Here I am, judgment. So my lesson is, see every soul within there with loving kindness, compassion. You're here for a reason. I sat outside in the street, on the pavement, bawling my eyes out, going, it wasn't the fact that my greatest fear, I had to face my greatest fear. My greatest fear was that all my past and everything that I'd gone through and everything I've been creating for years behind closed doors, people weren't listening. They weren't ready for it. That was my greatest fear, was to be my gifts not be used for service. So I had to face my greatest fear. I then learned this big lesson in humility, being on my knees and surrender of then asking angels for guidance, even more so. And everything shifted for me in such a big, like really big way, that I actually need to get a VA now to assist me, because I've been like back to back, right? So I knew this would happen in 2018. So this was divine for my own soul growth. So no matter where people are in their journey, it's not like, right, I'm here now, I've done it. It's like, no, it's never ending. And knowing and trusting without a shadow of a doubt, you will always be supported. It brings it back to what Scott said, you know, that self-love, baby steps. What do I need right now? How can I nourish that wounded aspect right now?
Wow. Thank you so much for sharing that. Wow. I can identify with so much you just said. And I just want to just acknowledge you and say thank you for saying that, because most people I find that come to us, you know, the so-called experts and everything, and I'm like fully transparent. They're like, Chris, how do you do it? You're always so positive. You're always so energetic. I'm like, well, you see me on camera. You see me when I put the lights on. You see me when I fire up the microphone. Of course, I'm going to get on. I'm going to be on because I want to be on for you guys. But I'm also very transparent in the fact that there's times where I get around the rabbit hole and kind of go, what the fuck's going to happen? And what's going to happen to me? And judge my own, you know, my own branding or my own anything. But that's the part of life, is that we're all in this together. And so many people think that some people have it, some people don't. We're all in the same boat. You know, if you think stars have it, you think The Rock has it all together, Dwayne Johnson. I mean, watch his videos. The guy is transparent. He's like, this is just what I focus on. This is just what I do. And yeah, I have moments, and we're all human going through all this experience. I could tell, Sherry, you were chomping at the bit. What do you got, baby?
Oh, no, I fully get what she's saying. You know, this path opened up for me in 1997 as a result of a near-death experience. And the near-death experience came about as a result of trying to meet up to that idea of perfect. I was in the professional fitness industry and ended up starving myself down to between 78 and 85 pounds, because what did I want? I wanted love and acceptance. And what I got was a beautiful near-death experience. And it was that experience on the other side in which I was united with pure love. You know, we go through these moments where there's been a lot of fear right now going on, and people are scared and they're attached to that feeling of fear. That's a vibration. It's a frequency. And we don't realize that when we're attached to these feelings, we're giving them power. And so if fear is that feeling that we're connected to, we're putting that out. And that's what I learned in the light. I was aligned with pure love beyond human understanding. So I was shown all these amazing purposes that I had chosen to experience when I came into the body. And I was also shown that each and every one of us shows up in each other's moments on purpose, good and bad, just like we're showing up in each other's moments right now, and the people who are watching this as well. And here's the cool thing about it, is we knew that this was going to happen. And so when I came back into the body and I had been shown all these amazing, beautiful things that Sherry was meant to do, guess what I experienced? the contrast, the opposite. And I was trying to tell what, I'm telling you right now. And people laughed at me, spit on me, called me crazy, and deserted me. That was my worst fear. My worst fear was to be laughed at, to be made fun of, to not be accepted. And now my family said, you made your bed, you lie in it. And so I ended up walking homeless in the streets. It was one of my greatest fears, is being without. But one of the things that had been said to me on the other side was that I never had to worry, that all the right people would show up at the right moment to help me move forward. And that's not the truth for me. It's the truth for each and every one of us. I mean, you, me, and every single person on this planet. Guess what? Everything is available to us. But it comes down to the moment. See, we're so busy living outside of ourselves, and we're reacting according to appearances. So, if somebody else is experiencing something in the outer world that's sad or a painful event, what happens is we'll connect to that story that they're telling, or that feeling that they're feeling. And before we know it, guess what? We're feeling it too. And so what we're doing is we're giving our power away to what we don't want. What we really want is joy and freedom of movement and good and greater good and a life of abundance. And guess what? That is available to every single one of us right here and right now. And so, for myself, the path over the last 23 years has been built around surrender, the moment, to only today. It took a while, baby steps, like all the rest of us are talking about, to let go of this old program that kept telling me, you're not good enough, you're not deserving, there's not enough money, there's not enough. And I had to learn to become the observer of what was showing up. So if something showed up that sucked and it didn't feel good, instead of attaching to what didn't feel good, I would lean in. And I listen, and I say, thank you. Thank you for revealing to me a part of myself that doesn't serve me. Or if it does serve me, let me listen a little deeper and let me recognize what I'm giving power to, so that I can literally let it go. Because we all have volition. We all have a choice. Do we hold on to what's not serving us, or do we release and let go? Then what do? We start declaring and affirming what we really want. And I do that so easily by just speaking my word. Your word has a vibration, it has a power, and it has a frequency that's connected to everything in the universe. And so I start going into what I really want, is to be in a moment right here, right now, with 4 freaking amazing souls that I vibe high with, that I laugh with, and I have fun with, and I get to be weird with. Woo! Does that? Woo!
Yeah.
Oh yeah. And I do her.
Jeez, I might take my shirt off.
I'm not wearing pants, so it's not a big deal.
Walmart's selling more shirts than pants, so that makes sense.
That.
Yeah, I mean, that's so cool.
That.
And we're having some amazing people. Like Nellie. Nellie is a great person that's been in our lives. I mean, look at that. So true. All of this is big truth. I mean, fear can freeze us. Yes. I found overcoming that, facing it and doing that, what scared me, doing what scared me. Yeah. Yes. It's so funny because, and the people that I've talked to in the last month, they'll come to me and I've said, hey, listen, whatever you need, I'm going to talk to you and I'm going to help you. And surprisingly, I've taken on 2 coaching clients during this time, which actually surprised the shit out of me. And I'm so blessed and so thankful, because people have seen us come on and they're like, holy crap, dude, you speak the truth. I want to get through this too. And I want to be better than ever before. I don't want to come out of this like, oh shit, looking back going, wow, what do I need to do? How do I need to change my perspective? And I think that a lot of it goes down to fear, right? I mean, it's the fear. We go back to the little kid. And I was talking to somebody the other day, they said, and I think that other people know the stuff that I think, and it's kind of crazy, but I forget how much I've read. And I'm like, and I said, just think about when you were a kid. Just think about when you're a kid. You were told about Santa Claus, Tooth Fairy, Easter Bunny. You were told a bunch of fucking lies. You were told, kids say the truth. Kids don't know how to lie. And what do? We get conditioned by people who don't know what they're doing in their own lives. They're trying to figure it out. My mom said she should have been a mom. And I turned out pretty good considering my child. And what's funny is that I'm not sure about your story, Scott, because I don't know your story all altogether, but the three of us have been homeless. I was homeless when I was 13 to 17, and you guys have both been homeless. So I'm going to find out about you. I don't know if you've been homeless or not, but I just know you're tall and you play basketball. And you like
I used to play basketball a month ago. Now I just talk about it.
But it's amazing. I want you guys to think about the guys that are watching. Give yourself a break. You were raised by people that you admired and that you thought you were your heroes, who were just screwed up trying to figure it out themselves. And some of that, some of their insecurities and some of their lack of confidence may have spread into you. And that this time now is not to look at things as being fearful and uncertain. This time is, like I think Zoe was saying, and Sherry was compounding on, is the fact that, and this is something that I've had to learn in my own journey over the last 2 years, is that we think about struggles and we think about things that are painful and uncomfortable. It's like, I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to go to that. I'm going to go to my short-term gratification versus my long-term result. I'm going to go into, alcohol, booze, shopping, sex, whatever it might be, Facebook. And we go into those little things and we get lost in those ideologies and those beliefs. But I've learned that the sooner you go toward those and you just say, you know what, I'm afraid of, for me, I quit my corporate career of 26 years last November to make the leap of doing coaching and speaking and consulting and just contributing to the world full time, no matter what it takes. I left a very attractive job, a very attractive career. And it was like, just jump. And it was just like everything that comes my way. I'm like, no, run from it. Go for it. Go to it. Feel it, experience it, overcome it. And you just get stronger. I mean, I tell people, for those of you guys who are new, I have a tattoo that says, what doesn't kill me only makes me stronger. And I just put that on my arm because everything I've been through, everything I'm going to go through, we're all the same. We're all going through it. But the fact that the four of us are here tonight to tell you guys that you can make it through, you just have to start changing your perceptions about things, changing your perspectives. I want to ask you guys, what are your thoughts on fears and the conditioning process that goes behind it that fucks us up for the rest of our life, that we have to go back to removing that scarcity mindset and that fear mindset to get through these times?
There's something that Sherry said that I'd love to back up, and it answers this question, I think, a little bit. One of the things that we don't do effectively and keeps us in here and keeps us in fear is we don't go back to observer state. And Sherry used that term, and it's a beautiful term. Imagine this, the eyes that I see the world from, if I see the world and the world feels like it's stressful or that things don't feel good or I don't feel good enough, I lay that all on me. So all those emotions, sadness, fear, shame, it goes into me. And if I don't process that, that's going to weigh me down. That's going to eat me up alive. And that's going to come with me through adulthood. Now, watch the difference. If I have eyes behind my head and I look for an observer, almost like a puppeteer, if I'm sitting there watching Scott in this physical being just exist, and I'm like, oh, Scott's going through some moments of fear, and I work through those and I just am afraid. And I accept that fear as a fuel or a catalyst to do something. Now, suddenly, I'm just the person, or I'm the being who's observing this and watching this happen. Those emotions now move through me. Listen to the word, it's emotion, in motion. So if I use that as fuel to move through me, this world becomes a heck of a lot easier. And Zoe will attest, because we met, 6-7 months ago, and we first met, I was going through some stuff of my own because there was so much that I had held inside. I mean, listen, Chris, being a guy, we're told to be tough, don't cry, don't be ashamed, be a badass. You got a problem, fuck you. And that's being from Boston. Like, we're taught that. Like, don't show any emotion. So literally, I'm just this giant being of compartmentalized emotional storage. So I've been just unpacking this shit while I'm trying to exist, while I'm trying to teach, while I'm trying to be productive on podcasts, while I'm trying to be a great parent. And you know what? It's difficult. So there's the truth to it. There's going to be difficulty. Do I love basketball? Would I love to go have a few drinks and do whatever? Yeah, but every time we do that, it steps us back and the whole goal is forward. So there's the simple truth. You want 2 seconds of advice out of this whole show so far?
No, don't. Do not give us any more nuggets. Don't. We have people watching that are.
You don't deserve this shit.
10-second of nuggets. Give us. Let me just say this out loud. Give us your nuggets, Scott.
It's this. I'm gonna give you guys my nuggets real quick.
Give me your nuggets. Go for it. You got full screen.
It's this simple. Okay. Step out of yourself. Watch yourself. Be truthful about this self. First of all, we could go into a whole definition about what self really is, but the assumed self, the physical being. when you notice that that self is in anger and choosing to drink or fight or argue, use that as fuel to do what you really want. Maybe what you really want is to get in better shape, go for a jog. Maybe what you really want is to start writing. Start writing. Use that. Think how musicians or artists, how do these people become the best at what they do? They use their emotions, and when their emotions are gone, they have no emotional attachment, they don't even end up having any great products. So imagine if we know that that's fuel, why are we not doing anything with it? Like, we know it's fuel. So the simple tip right now is practice getting to observer state. A simple way to do that would be just breathing techniques. Just breathing, close your eyes, step back to here, just get into yourself and just watch yourself and realize this is a temporary vessel. Your self lives back there. And once you start doing that, and you know that beyond the veil is your true existence, this is going to become a much more easily manageable and enjoyable, listen to that part, and enjoyable game. That's all I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you little bits, just little bits at a time. I can't give it all away.
Truth bombs, truth bombs, truth bombs. Yes. Yes.
Okay, I want to say this on the
I want to say about this, about that. What about this and what about that? Let's go down under, ladies and gentlemen, please.
Yes.
So with the fear, many people have been conditioned not to feel in it, because you're told that. So we have the patterns that are programmed into our nervous system. So to say to someone that's in a state of numbness or in a state of reaction to feel into their body, they can't feel into their body because they don't know how to, or when they have, they've experienced pain, or they've gone in, they're afraid to go deeper. So a lot of the fear and the conditioning and the patterns and the programs that we have, mentally, we can't reconstruct it. We actually need to do processes so the bodysuit can release it. A lot of the fear that's held and the trauma that's held in the body is held in the tissues. So in the myofascial matrix, which is the stuff that stops us dropping into the floor, into this goo. So as much as we can mentally, yes, we can do that and have the awareness. The fear and that discharge reaction and the emotions get dumped. They get dumped in the tissue, they get dumped in the joints. And to then feel into that is like, oh, well, I'm not going to feel into that because it's a scary thing. And it's like, well, I only want to stay positive and feel into like happiness, joy. And this avoidance of, well, I'm not going to feel into feeling depressed. I'm not going to feel into feeling suicidal. That's a really big one. And giving people to feel into that, of giving it the same honor and the same love and the same respect as a positive emotion. They're all energy in motion. Like Scott was saying, it's like that what's happening on the inside, they're messengers. They're messengers to, you know, the whole feel everything and run, or feel everything and rise. I found, even from all of the repatterning and reprogramming my own mind, what's really assisted me is the breathing. But the breathing is when I'm actually holding my breath. Now, when I'm hyperoxygenated and then I'm holding my breath, it's that time, it's like what Sherry says, like that surrender, that letting go. What do we all need to learn how to do on planet Love? Let's go.
Yep.
Yes, I have a book. I have a book on my bookshelf that says I can see it right here. Letting Go.
Yeah.
It's an amazing book. Letting Go.
We get all these beautiful opportunities to let go. Sit on the toilet, let your shit go. You know, we fart, we breathe, and we've got this society. Oh, I'm sorry. Like, and all it is like energy being released. It needs to come out somehow. So when you can create a safe space for a beautiful soul, and they get to learn how to go into that, and they get to do it themselves, it's one of the most powerful things, because I'm still releasing. This is me 24/7, unless I go deep submarine phase where I'm in quiet Zen mode. this is me like 24/7 until I collapse and drop and have to sleep, right? Or when
I can only imagine.
Sherry will know this. So like when I do my reset mode, and when people can have permission to feel into and go past that body mind thing where they're not even, you don't have to feel into the trauma, you don't have to even think about it. You do a certain, and Wim Hof talks about this, and you know, so it's that, and with that, this gets out the way, and the body wisdom gets to do what it does best. And your body releases, discharges, dissolves like constantly. And that's what we're doing right now, is working through our density. So
100%.
your fear is actually your gift. So my fear was speaking. My fear was speaking. 2008, I stood there. I was a boxing trainer. I wanted to be a boxing trainer. I wanted to go out there. I basically stood up in front of people I knew and was like, I literally did that. It was like, so like, I felt so humiliated. And then in that, like Sherry said about words are so powerful. My language and the words that were coming out my mouth was, I'm a piece of shit and I shouldn't be here. And all of you are better than me. And I remember like it coming out of my mouth, everyone was really understanding. And I remember walking home and absolutely bawling my eyes out and like complete, like, what the fuck just happened? And then when I sat with it over a few days, I was like, my fear is to speak in front of people. I was like, so I need to do that more. And it's a gift, right? So then show up on something like this, raw, unscripted, not give a shit about what I'm even going to think about. And that's what we need to do. It's like face those things, do the things to get rid of them, to then realize we're kids and we came here to have fun.
Yes.
And that's what we're coming back to. We're rewilding ourselves to remember our innocence. And I feel like I'm hanging out with you guys in a playing field, and it's like, hey, let's go. Like,
Does anybody have a basketball?
Yeah, I love basketball.
If you guys have a basketball, that'd be great.
6'4",
I'm 5'3",
rest in peace, Kobe.
so I tend to stick my ass out and go really low. So then
wait a minute. Say that again. Wait a minute. This is the wrong unscripted show. What did you just say about ass?
Stick my ass out and get down really low, so then the tall people can't get me.
Sorry, Scott. Leave the rest of us open. Hey, I want to acknowledge a question that we got that I think is really important. It's something that I've struggled with myself. When they talked about, they said your fear also may be a fear of success and accomplishment, but we also got a question. This is something that I have struggled with my entire life. My fear is what other people think of me. And I can say, to speak to that, this is Diane. Hi, Diane. I'm not sure I know you if you're from one of these other cats, but
she's actually my aunt. So she's shown up.
Hi, Aunt. Hi, Al. I've met your mom. Now I met your aunt. Hi, Aunt Diane. I'm part of the family now. I'm just letting you know, Aunt Diane. But no, that's a fantastic question, because it's something that every single person on this planet struggles with. I have met the most successful people. I spent 3 days. Some people don't know who Les Brown is. Les Brown is literally like the Tony Robbins. He's the second guy in this world whose cassette tapes got me from being a homeless 7th grade dropout, living in the backseat of a station wagon, to earning a master's degree and now doing what I love. Les Brown was amazing. And I got to spend 3 days with that cat. And it was truly inspiring. And one of my fears has always been just being who I am. So I started out as a suit and tie speaker. You guys can go on my YouTube. I don't know if you've seen this, Scott, but there are pictures of me wearing a suit and tie with no bandana, no hat.
Okay.
My hair all slanted. And I'm just like, hey, everybody, look, we're going to talk about this. And I have my hand. And it was like, I was afraid of just being me. I cussed. I listen to rock and roll. I love to have a good time. I love to have a little Jack Daniels every once in a while. I love to motivate people. That's who I am. I'm not going to be anybody else. And Les Brown told me, he's like, Chris, I could put you on my stages. I could promote you. You have a great voice. You have a great message. You have a great energy. He goes, but I can't do this. And this is when I first started doing the kick-ass thing. And I said, Les, I love you to death, but I have to be me. What's this life for if I'm going to try to pretend to be somebody else that I'm not, to get people to like me for who I'm not? That's so idiotic. So I really want to speak to that question, because honestly, and pardon my French, you can't give a fuck what anybody thinks of you because it matters what you feel inside. Like Zoe was saying, we're kids. We're literally still kids. I could sit there and I could talk to somebody, and immediately within probably about 1 to 3 minutes, I can determine where they are at between 0 and 5 years old. I can sit there and see, okay, they're 4 years old, they're 5 years old, they're still stuck in some sort of spot of their life. I'm not saying for everybody, but generally somebody with issues, you can go, okay, what happened in your childhood? And they're like, why do you care about my childhood? I'm talking to you now as a 38-year-old person. I'm like, no, something happened in your childhood that gave you a belief that said, no, I'm not enough and I shouldn't be who I am. I remember one time on the playground, I had somebody, I didn't have a dad, so I grew up with a mom. I've totally been around feminine energy my entire life. And these guys came up and I thought I was going to fit in. They're like, hey, what position do you play in softball? Sorry, Scott, I suck at sports. And and I said, and I swear to God, this is God's honest truth. I was probably about 8, 9, 10 years old, I'm guessing. And I said, I play batter. And these guys were all looking at me and they're like, you play batter. And I'm like, and I thought that's what position was because I saw all the guys going up there and playing batter. I didn't understand it. I was stupid. I was like naive. I wasn't stupid. I was naive. And these guys started laughing at me. And I was like, oh man, okay, what do I have to do to be somebody who I'm not? So my answer to that, Aunt Diane, is that you just have to own who you are. You have to rock who you are, and you're going to get the people in your life like these people. I'm just been who I am the last month. I've just been me. And I've had great opportunities. I've had people tell me like, hey, I can't have you on my show. You swear too much. Whatever it is, when you're you feel great. You feel on fire. You just get the right people in your energy field and you explore it and you just feel better. And that's what this is all about. These people, I literally didn't know any of these people a month ago. And now we're like family. So that's just be you and you get the right people in your life. What do you guys think?
I think you're absolutely right because, I can remember back to an event that happened in 3rd grade. I went to Christian school and my dad had wrote this eloquent speech for me, and it was called, I am thankful to be an American. And I got up in front of the whole school and I said that speech so perfectly because my dad wanted me to say it perfect. And the very last sentence of the speech, I couldn't remember. And I'm looking out at him, in the front row, and he's lip syncing it to me. And then I'm going, and he's lip syncing it. And then all of a sudden on the microphone, I go, huh? And everybody in the whole entire auditorium started laughing. And I can remember that it hurt me so deeply. And I was so embarrassed. And then when, it was over, my dad said, Sherry Marie, how could you? How could you forget the last sentence? And if only I could have said, and that is why I am thankful to be an American. And I carried that with me for years. And so I look at other stages of my life when I was in the pro bodybuilding industry and I was trying to meet up to that perfect body. And I wanted to, have everybody like me. So a lot of times I wouldn't even speak what was really going on inside of me. I just followed what everybody else said or what everybody else did instead of just like Chris is saying, being myself. And so now at 55 years old, and having gone through what I've been through to, like Zoe was saying earlier, there were times when I was bawling my eyes out and I would let myself bawl and even make sounds like, ah, and, to get it out. And I met this monk at one point, this Buddhist monk, and he taught me how to breathe where you can just really surrender. And he used essential oils. He used this particular essential oil called joy. And he said, put a couple drops in your hand. He says, take your 3 fingers and activate the oil. And he says, and then put it on your energy meridians, put it on your forehead, on your temples, right below your nose, your chin, and right there at the small of your neck. And then he says, rub your hands together and breathe in deeply. He says, and then hold it for 10 seconds. So you're holding it in your nose for 10 seconds, and then you're breathing out of your nose for 10 seconds. And I'm telling you, that alone would help me just be more calm and more still in the moment. And so today, I have this song. It's like, obviously I'm not the greatest singer, but it's living to be, living to be, living to be the real me, climbing mountains as I begin again. Every moment is about beginning again. We all have that choice. We're all that special. So, you know, today I speak to anybody and everybody. What's going on in here? Just love everybody for who they are. But it took time and it took steps and it took the willingness to take baby steps in today.
Wow. Sherry, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Most people don't understand the fact that we all have issues and problems that we've had to work through. And that's why we're at where we are at today. I mean, so thank you for being that person and sharing that, because I think that lends to the people who are watching that fact, wow, we're all human. We're all having this spiritual existence as humans. It's something that, and I share this with the audience, for those of you guys who are new to me. You know, I spent most of my life being like, fuck religion, fuck this, fuck that. And just like, this is my mind. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I'm successful. And when I got my coach, and Zoe, you'll appreciate this, I want to introduce you to my coach, Sally Anderson. She's from New Zealand. She's amazing. And she got me to read The Untethered Soul. She got me to read The Surrender Experiment. She got to read Why This, Why Now. She got me to read, you know, about past life regressions in the last year. And it's opened my mind up so much. And people are saying like, Chris, how are you handling this? And I'm like, I just have a faith that I understand that it's all happening for me. It's not happening to me. And that everything that is happening is just a continuation of the journey that I'm supposed to continue to learn. And I invite you guys out there to think about it. And I've done this so many times in my life. I mean, I just was going through something, ending my corporate career of 26 years last November. I really had an identity. And this is what I want to talk to you guys about a little bit, is I had this identity. I was this person. I was the director of operations. I was responsible for these departments. I had these people reporting to me. I was responsible for contract negotiations. I was responsible for all this stuff. I didn't have the bandana, of course. I was all this, you know, professional guy. And I was responsible for all these things and all these people and trying to do all these things. And once I was out of that, I was like, holy crap, that was my identity for so long. Talk to us about what your individual perceptions are of quote unquote identities and how we can shed those just to be who we are. Because for me, I have learned in the last, I don't know, November, December, where we are, April, 5 months, that it's just great to be me. It's not great to have an identity. I'm not a parent. I'm not a friend. I'm just me. And that's great, because as these moments unfold, they're exciting. It's a journey. We have to go back to our playfulness. I think you said it, Zoe, so beautifully. And Sherry, you echoed it, is that playfulness. I watch my 3-year-old son and I'm like, God, I said it yesterday. I said, I wish I had that naive sense of just being in the moment and going, wow, look at the trees, look at the leaves, look at the sun. Look, let me just get dirty. I don't fucking care. And I'm sitting there going, no, don't get in the mud. I'm like, Chris, life is about being in the mud. What do you guys think to that?
There's a lot of truth there.
Yeah, you know, I go deep every once in a while, but it's true. I mean, I've been on this amazing journey, and I tell people this all the time. They're like, again, I go back to like, Chris, how do you do this? You seem so excited. I'm like, because I feel like a little kid again. I feel like I don't have the identity of trying to be the professional. I don't have to be the person that has the master's degree in organizational management. I don't have to be this. I could just be me. For once in my life, I could just be me. If I swear, I swear. If I wear a bandana, I wear a bandana. Whatever it is, I'm just me. And that is such a freeing experience. To go back to some of the questions that were around fear, it's just a great feeling to be you and to go, okay, what's the next moment and how am I going to respond to it? I'm not going to react to it, because when we react, it's based on fear conditioning. It's based on other beliefs that we have from our past. Look at things from a different perspective, right? And just look at it as a journey.
But I think that's what the hardest part is the start. I mean, every great business book or every great book that's ever been written somehow incorporates, what do I do to get this started? You know, the art of the start is a classic, you know, that's where we get stuck. And so I think the whole, you know, take one bite of an elephant to eat an elephant, you know, analogy, I think that's right on point. Because if we're going to try to take our identity and shift it, one of the hardest things is we're not going to see results quickly, because we've been told we're a certain religion. We've been told to be strong. We've been told not to cry. We've been told to think certain things, and that's all part of who we are. So now we're a compilation of all those thoughts that have been given to us. And sure, we've gone to college, but what happened in college, or what happened in high school, what happened in, you know, grammar school? We were given lessons and we were given thoughts by other people, the teachers, the parents, whatever. So at some point, when do we get to that point where we start unlearning and we start saying, I don't like this, but I like this? When we do that, it seems like there's so much effort put in for so little reward. That's what we got to stop believing, because every time we do one thing that we make a shift from one belief that was not a belief that we should have held on to, do one at a time. I mean, really think of this, 365 days in a year. Let's say right now I decide that I'm no longer going to believe that I am my title. So I'm not a teacher. I'm not a speaker. I teach and I speak and motivate. So I'm verbs now. So I just did that today. Then tomorrow I come in and I say, I'm not a, I don't know, whatever. I mean, like, we could do one of these every single day, but we could do this for 365 days. Imagine the value of 365 days with all these different lessons, because we're aware of the daily lesson. And that's another thing. We talked about it multiple times, Chris. The lesson's going to show up. Like, we don't have to sit here and ask, what am I going to learn tomorrow? I'm going to wake up, something's going to punch me in the face, and I'm going to have a choice. Do I learn the lesson or not? So literally,
yes.
But we say it all the time. Like, how many times does somebody say to you, just show up? And you're like, what does that mean? Here's what that means. That means be in the moment, recognize the lesson, choose to learn from it or not. You don't have to. There's no shame in this. There's no shame because you didn't get something from the lesson. Listen, there's probably, I probably think I'm great at this. There's probably 500 lessons that I've never learned that have been addressed to me so many times in so many existences. I mean, the universe is probably laughing at me right now going, how are you possibly teaching on this when you can't learn your own lessons? That's the fun of this. That's the joy in this. Let's keep doing it, sharing with each other, encouraging each other, and realizing we need to accept ourselves, and others where we're at in our journey, because we're just doing our best. That's it.
Yep.
Who else? Because I was going to say, if you say best, I'm going to jump on that, but I can see our dear new friend Zoe has something to chime in on about that.
So when we're looking at things like the identity, the false identity of who we think we are, you know, many of us, when we go back to the childhood, because we didn't feel accepted, or we didn't feel acknowledged, or, you know, when we look at the 3 basic needs that a child is looking for, acknowledgement, acceptance, and attention, we start creating these personas, we start creating these masks. And for many people that are tuning in that may have been the wild ones, or the ones that didn't quite fit into their beautiful caregivers that they got born into, they will create these different masks for different situations. And like you were saying, Chris, to feel a sense of belonging, to feel a sense of acceptance with tribe. So then we go through life and we become very, very clever at being able to interchange the different masks, the different protections, the different personas, very much like the chameleon. So in myself, I became a master of the chameleon because I was scared of other people seeing my true self. I was actually scared of myself. I didn't know. I was scared of other people seeing what I couldn't even look at. So for everybody tuning in, a really beautiful thing to start to do is to actually begin to see yourself. And Louise Hay talked about this, is to look into your eyes. Like, I was scared. There was so much fear. It took me 2 weeks. This is back in 2007, 2008. 2 weeks to look into my eyes in the mirror. I couldn't do it. Mm-hmm. And then I had to learn to say the words, I love you. Mm-hmm. I see you. And really see beyond this, because, you know, there's all this other stuff that people carrying around, the self-loathing, the hate, the judgment, the shame, the guilt, and all this heavy stuff, that to say to someone, right, okay, that's your false self, you're going to take that off, they'll be like, no, I'm not. It's like the enemy will hide in the last place you will ever look. So you need to create a container. Someone needs to feel they have a container, they have a safe place, because they're not going to remove their masks if they're going to feel in protection mode. Because that aspect of the false self, if we can call it the ego, is also, I see it as the inner child. It's the wounded inner child. So it's going to come in to protect. It's going to go, fuck you. It's actually your greatest ally, because let's be honest, if we didn't have that aspect, we'd get walked over like a doormat. And we may have experienced that. So that aspect of us has become the program to protect us, because we created this meaning that it's scary to go inside, or if I go inside, I'm going to be judged. So the way that I, for myself personally, and then with others, but personally with myself, I had to have a practice. For example, it was a meditation. So it gave me, the mantra was like a ball. And I had to see the ego as being like a puppy, but a puppy that was at the age that was not gonna rah and chew up the ball and go rah, like this. If you threw the ball, it wanted to play, it ran off. And this is the way we need to reprogram the mind. The mind, that aspect of being you're not good enough, scolded, shamed, you're stupid. And we have all these deep programs within us, like everyone has them. So you've got to coerce it back, and you've got to do it gently. So the meditation or sitting in stillness gave me a way to retrain that aspect, the ego that then felt, hey, you can come and sit in the car with me, but you get the fuck out the driving seat. And when it sat in there being like the passenger, it's a great way of looking at it, became the passenger of, oh, you just turn the wrong way, turn the wrong way. It's like, sit down, shut the fuck up. Right?
My fuck you sprinkler.
Right. So then it learns to become our greatest security officer. Right? We need to get past that. If we can't get past that, you cannot feel into love. You can't drop into instinct, because you'll be stuck in the reptilian brain. You'll be stuck in the reptilian mind. Oh, fuck her, make my day. Fuck you. Right? And it doesn't want to let go. Jason Statham does it in Revolver. If you can look at that movie, it's amazing. And he says the enemy will hide in the last place you will ever look. So we need to do baby steps of learning to love ourselves, to let ourselves off the hook. Like anything, this does not happen overnight. So when you're like, the bodybuilding, it takes discipline. It takes daily discipline. You don't go in there and suddenly you've got all these muscles. Same with the brain, same with the mind. Address the cause to change the effects. Where do we need to go? We need to change the brain. So I always know when people have that, they're safe. They have a life raft. So no matter the shitstorm that's going on around them or the chaos that's going around them, they get to sit down, sit their ass still, shut the fuck up, like being the observer, and allow to do the work. Then we can learn how to focus, concentrate. Then we can be in powerful choice of the words that we use. Then we can start being more in a sense of power rather than feeling powerless of everything around us. Now, when all this stuff, finish really quickly. So when all this stuff is going on, right?
Take your time, sweetie. Take your time. Okay. This is important shit. You're not going to rush through this. Do not rush through this. I'm telling you, don't rush through this. Okay.
This is like the conscious mind. So this is the mind, the one that's always thinking, always listening, always chatting, going, what the fuck is Zoe going on about? Oh, look at Zoe's hat. Oh, nice lipstick, Zoe. All these different horse shit that's going on when people are listening.
You rock.
Like more than one voice, not like one voice, two voices, multiple voices, right? And it's really noisy in there. So if you say to someone has said to me in 2010, Zoe, you're going to do mindfulness and I want you to look at your mind. I'd have been like, do you have a fucking gun? Because I would rather put a gun to my head right now and silence the noise in there. Because it was like, it's like, here you go, we're going to throw you in a fucking ocean of your emotions. No, I want you to see all your stuff. And you're like, I'm already drowning as I am. That's why I think people get pushed over the edge. So when this practice, a very methodical, like, a child, you're also, that aspect to the mind is like a child. It wants to wonder. It wants to be curious. It wants to go, oh, what's down here? Oh, I'm going to go down this rabbit tunnel. And rather than go to your ass back, sit down, it's like, oh, what was I doing? That's right. I'm doing my practice. Bring it back. bring it back. Not the child being scolded, the puppy being brought back with love, like, oops, I forgot. Oops, I forgot. Oops, I forgot. Rather than the self-flagellation of the inner critic. So the beauty is when all of this stuff is going on, even if there's busyness, the mind gets to rest. It gets to rest. I've got nothing in here now, but imagine there's all this juicy fluid in there. That is like the feminine aspect to the mind. It's the creativity, it's the imagination, it's all those places we played when we were kids and we were told, no, stay in the box. Don't think outside the box. You need to stay in the box. Do. No, like this. No, don't question anything.
And what do we say to the box?
Fuck the box. Jack in the box.
Yeah.
Jack
I mean,
like
I know some people do not like curse language, but it's so funny that the people I've met in the last month who have said, dude, I love you. And I've actually had somebody who says, I can't curse on video and everything, but there is a release about saying something that says like, holy shit, holy fuck. You know, I mean, that's what life is. Life is about energy. Life is about just being alive. And I think that's what that's what the core of this show is about. And I hope you guys are seeing this, is the fact that you are responsible for your own decisions. You are responsible for your own actions. You are responsible for your own reactions and the way that you look at things. When Dr. Wayne Dyer says something that I live by every single day, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at begin to change. And if you don't know who Dr. Dyer is, go check him out. I learned about him at a point in my life where I was like, who's this airy fairy fucking motivational guy? Jesus Christ. And I sat there and watched his PBS special and I was like, wait. And I bought his book and I started reading about it. I'm like, wait, let me just expand my mind. And that's where I'm at today, because people who have known me for all my life would sit there and say, wow, Chris, you have a really different perspective than you did. But people are always going to see us. And this is for some of the people that were talking about fear, about being judged who you are. People are never going to see the advances that you take as a human being. They're always going to see you as somebody else. I can sit there and say, and I can go back to the people that I knew in November, literally in November, that I am such a different person now than I was then, because I continue to grow. I continue to expand, that you continue to change. And when you change and you get in your vibe, more people get in that vibe. And that's what the beauty of life is. Stop staying in the vibe that you were in that's not working for you. I have this meme that I share, and you guys will appreciate this. It's like, if you're not happy, and like I ask people, are you happy? Yes or no? And that's like, no. And I'm like, well, stop doing the shit you're doing. Change the stuff that you're doing. And I think that, well, I know, Zoe, you have impacted quite a few people. My new friend here, Cindy, says, yes, Zoe, when those masks come down, it can be so painful, but so rewarding to begin to find the real you.
Yes.
That is a daily check, as when you start looking to keep finding more of who you are. I'm beginning to like the real me, and I'm really cool. My thoughts, beliefs have changed the more I see me. Holy shit. I mean, just think about what Cindy says right there, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That says it. When the mask comes down, I used to put a mask on when I went to work. I was still me. I'm always me. But there's such a phenomenal feeling when you just let that all go and you're just like, hey, this is who I am. Yes, I have fears. Yes, I'm scared. Yes, I'm worried. What's going to happen in 18 months? What's the world going to be like? But whatever it is, as long as I'm adaptable, as long as I have an open mind, as long as I am excited about the journey, then it's not so scary. It's not so scary. Yes, times are uncertain, but I think that all of us are saying tonight is embrace that uncertainty like kids. Really, yes. You know, I don't want to speak for you guys, and I know that Scott's got to take off because I want to make sure we get final comments, but I think, and I know, I'm not going to say I think, I know this has been one of the most empowering, I have too many words in my mind at one time, empowering Facebook Lives that we've done. And by the fact that we've get all these, look at this, guys. We got Love This. We got
nice.
My friend Margaret is here. When I become aware of a belief I have about myself that doesn't feel good, sometimes I ask, what if I'm wrong?
Yes.
I'm never wrong. I mean, come on, guys, speak to that. Speak to that.
Yeah.
Who wants to speak to that? That's actually an intro. Come on, somebody.
Sure, you got to say something. I can feel something good coming from you.
It's the same thing. I mean, it comes down more and more to living in the moment. I mean, so many things that Zoe had said were so in alignment with the different experiences that I experienced. But it came down to, what if today, what if all there was good? And what if happiness and joy and you being your real self was all there is? I mean, that's what I've learned to embrace. I went through all that madness, all those masks, walking homeless on the streets twice, you know, living with the Italian mafia in Las Vegas. That's a whole nother story in itself. All these choices that got me pain and suffering, shame, judgment against myself, beating myself up. But as I chose to tap more into the real me and who the real me wanted to be and what the real me wanted to experience, the more I moved in today, letting go of all that, letting go of the past, the more shows up that's in alignment with what I really want, which is the real me. The inner child me is a playful little girl that laughs really hard and over the top. That's the real me. I mean, weird, you know, and silly and playful and all that. But seriously, I learned to let go of the shame, the judgment against others, the judgment against myself. And I kept tapping in deeper and deeper to the truth of my heart. And as my heart expanded, guess what? I pulled in more of people like Zoe and Christopher and Scott. And this is what I want to do. I want to talk. I mean, there was one moment, you know, that I had issues with talking in public as well, because I was so afraid of what people thought. And if I said something wrong, that they were going to think there was something wrong with me, that, you know, I was like beating myself up saying, oh my God, what if I say something wrong? What if I do something wrong? What if they make fun of me? And then I just got to be where I am right now. And expansion, you talk about expansion, Christopher, holy mackerel. The words I set the intention for this year for myself were expansion, trust, impact, and multiply. Expanded myself to a greater, grander expression of me. Trust that there's infinite intelligence, this energy, the source that's everywhere present. It runs in and through all things. You, me, the birds, the trees, the flowers, the air that we breathe. And impact. I want to be able to speak words that lift people like you up, that connects you to a deeper, greater part of yourself, so that you can be the real you. And multiply? Heck, I'm lining up with exactly what I want to do. Christopher, Zoe, Scott, myself, and more people to multiply in awakening the planet to this magnificence of who they truly are and the power that is truly within them. And there is nothing you can't be, do, and have. It's everywhere present, right here, right now.
Fucking pow. That's a new word for me. That's a new word. Ladies and gentlemen, right here, the Raw Unscripted Friday Night Live show, right? What did I just say? Fucking pow?
Yes, that's exactly what you said.
Trademark that shit.
I think Batman already has that.
Fucking pow. Sherry, I have watched you and I've listened to you, and that is the fire that I've been seeing. That is amazing. Thank you so much. I mean, that's what this is about. That's what my goal, honestly, you know, to put everything aside, and I want to get closing comments because I want to respect everybody's time, is the fact that it's so beautiful just to be. You know, we're so caught up in the identity. We're so caught up in the approval. We're so caught up in the significance. And that's one of the things I've learned in my life, is that when you make somebody feel significant, or when you feel significant, that I think is a basis of love. And I know, Scott, you and I are going to do a lot, and I hope you guys do a lot with the fact that of your love program and how it impacts teachers in schools, because that's our next generation, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, Generation Z, we already got the millennial generation in there. And I just did a webinar on this for a consulting program that I was doing for a company that, the millennials, when we used to talk about it just 5 or 10 years ago, the millennials were just a small segment of the population. But now the millennials activate 38% of all leadership in corporations right now. So as we go through these different generations, it's important that we share what it is that is really just about us, just being in the moment and just being who you are. Because the fact of the matter is, like we said before, with the masks, how tiring, how exhausting is that? Especially if you're putting a mask on for your family. I've been talking to people this last month and I'm like, this should be a time that your family is getting shit out and getting shit straight and becoming a stronger unit for the fact that you're being in that. But the one thing I want to say in closing a little bit, I want you guys to do your closing remarks and just send everybody off. But I just want to share this with you guys. Look at this. Mike says, powerful messages here. Sherry, you are great. Please have Zoe come back. I mean, look at this. Who cares if it's right or wrong? I mean, people are getting fucking value out of this. This is amazing. I'm not sure what fuck a duck means but I'll leave that to you, Mike. I think you're awesome. Words are spells. Words are powerful.
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
I'm not sure who Beth is, but I like Beth. What's up, Beth? How you doing? I got Kimberly over here. Fuck yes. I am the F-bomb queen. Yeah, I mean, that's the fire. Let's see. Nellie says, I'm overwhelmed I'm about to get some shit straight in my environment, at least while I'm stuck here. Are you really stuck, Nellie? Are you stuck? I don't think so. I think you're ready to make a decision. I think you're ready to act on the information you've been hearing. I know you've been following and watching us for the last month. And I've seen your posts and I've seen your comments and I know you're ready. And I'm talking to you right now. It's just a matter of what it is that you're going to decide. Just let go, just free fall. And for you guys who are new to us, you will know that I firmly believe in the video by Steve Harvey. And I wasn't I like Steve Harvey, the comedian, the talk show host, but I encourage each and every one of you to go check out Steve Harvey, his video called Jump. My coach told me to watch this and she knows I'm a perfectionist. She knows I'm a control freak. She knows I have to have plan A, B, and C. That's the way I was due to her guidance, Sally Anderson. I don't see things that way. So I just encourage you guys to see things differently. And we're just impacting lives. I mean, it's so great. So I just want to get your final thoughts and just leave people with some actionable items that they can digest today, because this has been fire. And I just want to thank you guys so much for being here and just want to see what our final comments are tonight.
I'll throw one out there. I love one of the comments that somebody just used words as a spell, because think of this, okay? And you have the word spelling. There's a reason there's a word, this spelling, and that comes from magic. Every time you put words out there, you are casting a spell. And I promise you that's truth. So if you were to say that I will succeed, I am love, I'm a teacher, I can teach, I can motivate, I'm amazing, there's your spell. That spell will come true. When we listen to magic and we think of the concept of magic, magic's nothing more than reality. Magic is your ability to create, period. That's it. I'm going to leave you with that. I don't want to drop this mic because it was expensive, but I'm going to pass it off.
Here, where's my mic? Bam, there's the mic. Mic drop. Bam. Scott, you are always so eloquent in your words and just a master of everything. So thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Who would like to go next?
Zoe, you want to go?
Zoe's going. Sherry's going. Sherry's going.
Okay. So live in today. And just as Scott said, your words have power. So begin to get clear and specific about what you really want and start declaring that. Declare that there is this infinite power that is everywhere present, and begin to know that what do you have? You have whole health. You have an environment of love and joy and prosperity. And know that good and greater good comes into your every moment as you know it and declare it and expect it. And be in gratitude of this. Be in gratitude. And release your word to the action of the law. There is this cog on the wheel that is just saying yes, yes, yes. It's the law. You can call it the divine feminine. You can call it the law of attraction. You can call it the womb of a woman, because the womb, you know that when it's gestating, when you put your word in that, it has power, whether it's good or bad. So be clear about what you want and put your focus and your power on what you want, because you know eventually that's going to birth an effect. And when you release your word, know that it's already so. Know that it's already true and allow it. Get out of the way. You don't need to analyze, rationalize, or scrutinize the how. Just allow. And, you know, like my mentor says to me, every avenue, channel, and opportunity of good and greater good will be drawn to you. Get out of the way of the how.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, firebomb. Thank you.
A+.
Who would like to, let's see, you.
So
You.
know when you're
Yes.
standing on the edge of a new possibility and you have two choices. You can stay there in freeze or doubt, or you can leap in full faith. When you leap and go, you start to have two beautiful wings that grow from your back. Faith and trust. And knowing that there is a higher power, an infinite substance that surrounds you and penetrates every cell of your being and your existence, and you will be supported. I leapt in 2017, exactly 3 years ago today, and I'm still free falling. And it is exciting and it is exhilarating. And that is my message for you, that whatever your greatest resistance, fear right now, is easing you and edging you and persuading you to take that leap of faith, to trust, and to know that on the other side of that, it's more than your wildest dreams, and we have to be willing to get out the way of ourselves and just go, fuck it, and just be like, and know you're going to be supported. And when you really fully let go and surrender in that place, whoa, like it's just like more and more. I tune in and I ask I'm not religious, I'm spiritual, and what shifted for me, I started tuning in more and more to the angelic realm, and I started calling in the Arcturian Council. I can put a thing in here of a thing I say every morning, and it's basically going for asking for support of all my guides. We all have guides and support, no matter if you're a believer or not, and to bring more love, more joy, more gratitude, more abundance into my life. And it constantly is coming in that way. And it is really beautiful when we can, be willing to play. Imagine you're like fairies or something, or fairy dust, or maybe you're a guy in a fairy suit. I don't know. But leap, because your destiny is on the other side of that. And then you get to receive it. And that is a beautiful gift, to know that in reality, you did nothing wrong and there was nothing to forgive, because we're all learning. Everyone. That's my...
Damn.
Woo!
Holy bam. Mic drop. I'm going to have to work on it. Mic drop. Actually, I have a microphone over there, but I'm not going to mess with it. Wow, guys. We've been on for an hour and 23 minutes. And I think, well, actually, I know that out of all the Facebook Lives I've been a part of for the last month, and I've been involved a lot of them, is the power of the message that we're sending here. It's truly amazing. I mean, we've impacted people's lives. I love this, and I do receive this. This is overwhelming. You know, this is, I mean, it's crazy. It's so crazy about what it is that you can do when you're just yourself and you're just in flow. I encourage you guys that are watching this and listening to this, either whether it's live or on the replay, just take some notes. Just really examine what your belief system is. Examine where it comes from. Is that something your parents instilled in you? Is that something your teachers instilled in you? Is that something your religion has instilled in you? You know, there's all sorts of things that have been downloaded into our brains when we were kids, and we didn't have the emotional intelligence to be able to do these things. And then, you know, we're left for the rest of our life to figure these things out. But I think you can tell, I know you can tell by the passion and the authenticity and the transparency of the people here tonight that it is doable, that we're all in the same boat together. We're all literally figuring it out together and experiencing it together and going through this journey together. And I think one of the most powerful messages of tonight, and excuse me if I'm wrong, is the fact that whatever is in your path, don't avoid it, go toward it, because that's going to be the beginning of your enlightenment. That's going to be the beginning of your, okay, I dealt with that. What's next? I dealt with that. What's next? I dealt with that. What's next? Bring it, bring it. That's my attitude right now. It's like, bring it. What do you got to do? You're going to take my 5-bedroom house? Take it. You're going to take my 69 Charger? Take it. Whatever it's going to be, I'm going to survive. I'm going to thrive. I'm going to figure it out. Whatever is meant to happen is an exciting journey. I may wind up living in fucking New York in 6 months. God knows what. You just never know. And that's one thing that the book, The Untethered Soul, it really taught me, is like, the guy talks about specific experiences happening and unfolding. He's like, okay, I must go with this one. He doesn't judge it. He goes, I have to go with this one. This one called to me. I have to go with this one. And that's I'm always about book recommendations. So tonight I say, why me? Why this? Why now? This is such a phenomenal book. If you guys are struggling with trying to figure out what's going on in your life, go check out these books. Go check out all these resources. Go check out each individual of these magnificent speakers. These guys have so much intelligence, so much insight into what it makes us human as spiritual beings having this existence. And I just can't thank you guys enough for being here tonight and sharing your soul, sharing your authenticity, sharing, just having fun. I mean, that's what this is all about. We've obviously impacted lives. I can go to bed tonight and go, holy shit, I was part of an amazing group tonight that impacted people. And that is such a beautiful feeling to go to bed with tonight. And I just want to leave you guys with this. You all have a gift. Every single one of us has a gift. And I just implore you to find it in this time to share your gift. My gift is inspiring people. My gift is to give people a different way of looking at things. And I think I've amassed some people here. I can't even take responsibility for this because it just all happened. It's so amazing what happens when you're just in the moment and you're not judging yourself based on 20 years ago, what happened. You're not judging yourself what possibility could be in 18 months when you're just in the moment and unfolding and you're just like, this is cool. This is who I am. There's so much release in doing that, guys, instead of being caught up in, well, what's going to happen? This was blah, blah, blah. That doesn't, I ask people all day long, how is that serving you? Is that working for you? And like, oh, fuck no. I'm like, well, stop doing it. I watch CNN, I watch MSNBC, and a lot of other. I'm like, well, stop doing it. Just get around people like us. So on behalf of the group here, do you guys have anything else?
I think that these two beautiful young ladies should tell us a little about their books, because I'm sure people want to know that they've written books.
Yes. They got books. Who was, I'm just going to pick somebody. Go ahead, Sherry.
So my book is Mastering Ultimate Thinking, Steps for Transforming to a Powerful Life. And it goes through the process, an easy process of tending your garden and recognizing where your thoughts are, watering the seeds of what you really want, de-weeding all of those negative emotions, negative thoughts, taking those steps. And then it goes into NLP, some tools you can use, NLP, visualization, and some really other great, awesome tips and tools. But it goes through the whole process of what Zoe was saying earlier, looking at it, feeling into it, releasing it, and then just being in a greater, grander expression of who you are.
Go check it out, ladies and gentlemen. I'll put the link in the notes afterwards. But Zoe has a book. I've
got 3 books that are currently on Amazon.
3 books?
Oh no, I've got 6 coming. Well,
6
I've got another
books?
3 coming. So I've got 3 on Amazon. They currently are blocked, so people can't buy them for whatever reason. They're about empowerment, about giving people tools to find their way. It's my story. It's my journey. The second one is a juicy book. Let me know. I'll as soon as I do get that. That's called Raw. It's a book of erotic poetry. It's basically channeled from source on trauma, on sensuality, on consciousness. And the third one is about the inner child. The 3 books I'm going to mention, though, is a trilogy that I will be releasing, I feel, in a few months. They're already finished. It's a trilogy. The trilogy is called Free Cunty Code. Yeah, you heard it right. The first book is Breaking Free. No more soul suffocation. So it's my, what's the word for it? Where it's like a story about you. Oh, it's got a
autobiography
for it. Pardon?
Autobiography.
Yeah, it's like it's got another word for it, like a memoir. So it's a story from sharing Sherry's really like we're like so in alignment, it's insane. So it's taking people on a journey from my story and giving them how-to steps, find the way. So that will be coming out. The second book is called Cunty, which actually is meaning a spiritually enlightened woman. Yoni, the seed of the universe, the source of all that is, everywhere where heterosexual men want to get back into, and the source of a woman's power. So that's about pussy power, about really reclaiming your body from having sexual trauma and remembering our power and our truth and bringing that into an empowerment. The third book of the trilogy is called Soul Codes, Remembering Your Mission, which is about how to tap into your light body, how to use things like the gene. You know, I've referenced different things, how to know what your blueprint is, how to then bring that into your alignment so then you can step into your greatest version of you. So they will be coming out and they're juicy, obviously.
I didn't get that. Did you get that, Chris?
I can't process, Scott. I can't. I for the first time in my life, I can't process.
So,
they sounded very toned down to me.
I can't process. My brain.
I'm going to put this out to the universe now. I'm calling in another platform other than that has freedom of speech. I have another 5 authors whose also their books are being put in silence. So I feel there's going to be another platform that will open up to bring books that can be free of freedom of speech, to then guide people how to step more into an empowerment and the powerful souls they came here to be.
Why don't we finish
so no
this?
Attachment to people not being able to buy them right now. No attachment.
Let's finish this with sending some energy out just from us, just to the universe, that this thing is going to grow from here. Us, our platforms, our vehicles of how to share our messages, our network. Like you guys said already, so it is. It was just stated. So it is.
So it
shall be.
And so it is, and so it shall be. We will expand this positivity to a higher vibration of love. We're going to take this to the next level. This network, our voices, the vehicles chosen, they're all going to grow tremendously. How about hugely? You guys want to use the word hugely?
Magnificently.
Let's use it all.
Hell yeah.
Infinitely.
There you go.
Yes.
There is no end.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, we've been broadcasting now for 1 hour and 33 minutes, and I hope and I think that based on your comments tonight that this is impactful for you. So what we do is we ask that you take action on what we said and that you go out and you share it, not from a point of our popularity, but go out and share what you've learned, because one of the greatest tools in learning something and becoming more ingrained with something that you come in contact with is to go share it with other people and say, hey, listen, I just saw these guys and they were talking about this. That's what this is all about. This is all about empowering you guys to see things differently from your perspective right now. That's why we bring these people to you. That's why I come to you all the time. And I'm just so moved and so appreciative of these guys who have brought to you this magnificent intelligence tonight and this real time that we're going through. I mean, you could tell by the comments that I'm sharing up here. I mean, this is just, it's just so beautiful that we're doing this. So I just want to say to you guys, thank you. Seriously, heartfelt thank you to coming into my life, to being, to merging who we know and getting to know more people and to spreading our love. I mean, that's what the world needs right now. So I hope more people get impacted by this, but I just want to sincerely thank you guys all for being here and sharing your wisdom. I look forward to going back and watching this and listening to this and gaining your nuggets of wisdom. And more importantly, I look forward to more of these, because what's more important than looking at the news and the politics and other things is to look at what you can be responsible for, what you could be accountable for, and how you could just let go and just really be immersed in the journey of the unexpected.
Chris, hold on. Let me just check my schedule. See if I've got time. I can do more of these.
Yeah. So from us to you, we love you. You guys got this. You guys are unstoppable.
Love you, Chris. Love you, Zoe. Love you, Sherry.
Everybody, love you.
All right. You guys have an awesome weekend. Have an awesome Friday night. And we love you guys. We'll see you guys again soon.
Happy Friday night.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.